If you want to turn your trading around and have the best 2026, you need to answer this one question. How many open positions do you have right now? Just be honest. If it's more than 10, I guarantee you're spreading yourself too thin, and it's going to be incredibly hard to ever turn the needle towards profitability in the markets. Because the truth is, that held me back for years. 40 positions, 10 covered calls, 10 leap options, 10 stocks. And I was always wondering why I was so confused and frustrated and not making money. And then I realized that only some of those plays actually did anything. And if I could focus, put more capital into the winners, that would turn the needle more than anything. It's not a special indicator. It's not another Discord. It's honestly going deeper in the better plays. So when I made the switch to 3 positions, that's when I had my best year ever, like record-breaking profits. We went from 150 to 500. And inside this video, I want to explain the 3 big trades and how you can go deeper, how you can make more from doing that, just like I made that switch last year. Tesla, Bitcoin, MSTR. I want to talk about how we came up to those conclusions and why we went so deep with those at that moment. But before we get into that, I want to explain what it was like before having just a couple positions in the portfolio. Because I had 40 positions at one point. They were, like I said, leaps, covered calls, random CSPs, crypto plays. And what happened was, it looked like I diversified. It looked like I found enough plays to be successful. But at the end of the day, one play started crashing and it took all my attention. Back in 2021, I made most of my money from the Bitcoin and crypto mining run-up. And once they started shifting, everything else in my portfolio didn't get any attention. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't manage it. I couldn't even figure out what to do in that moment because I was so overwhelmed with one of my core positions dropping. In just over a 7-day stretch, just one position ended up being an $18,000 loss, paralyzing me, not allowing me to do anything proper with the other plays. And when you have 39 other plays, you need to have a lot of time in your day to manage them well. And when one play takes all your attention, that's the issue. From that day on, I made a big switch. I was going to only look at 3 plays and never use another scanner, never go on another YouTube video looking for something new. And those plays for me were TQQQ, Soxel, which are leveraged ETFs. Those are my option selling bread and butter, what we do in the coaching program, day in and day out. And Soxel has produced me some of the best gains over the last 3 years, just completely doing the wheel without even thinking about it, honestly. But the last play is the most important, Tesla. And that was a play that I was very patient with. Because once you have your plays, it's all about patience. And I'm going to show you the real secret to patience that is going to save you years of struggle, trying different indicators, listening to different gurus. This one thing changed everything for me when it comes to patience, which is RSI. And you go to the weekly chart on TradingView, maybe the monthly. If you want to be more patient, you'll get fewer opportunities. But the idea is when RSI hits the lows between 40 to 30, that's when we have our eyes on a play. And not just on a play like, okay, I'm going to be selling puts, I'm going to be doing this and that. No, that's when we go deep. And that's when we use majority of our capital in the play. The reason why is because if we look at Tesla over the past 5 years, how many times has it hit RSI 40? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like one setup a year. And if you want to make money in the markets, it's about being that patient. You don't wake up every day looking for a trade. You don't even wake up every month trying to size in big to something new. You're really waiting for some core play that you watch day in and day out to finally give you a generational entry. When I say generational, I mean the stock alone. If you bought it and hold it, it would make 100% return in a short period of time. Tesla made 160% return from that RSI 30 entry here, but I didn't grab it there. I actually missed that entry. My second entry for Tesla was right here. And this here pushed it up 184%. And in the last video, I taught you guys a masterclass on how to leverage up your position with just different types of trades. I would suggest you watch that video. I'll link it at the end. But again, the idea is you have 5 to 10 tickers. For me at the time, I was focusing on 3. But when you have a small list, you're waiting for those to be ideal, perfect conditions. And when they hit, that's when you go extremely heavy. And listen very closely here, because going heavy is 2 things. It's also comfortability. Heavy isn't the same for everybody because we all have different risk tolerances. But when I say go heavy, I don't mean just position sizing. I also mean the type of trade. Because when Tesla is at a generational entry, where it won't hit that again for years to come, you're not going to be doing CSPs. You're going to be doing leaps. But some people aren't comfortable with that, and they might just buy stock. And some people aren't comfortable with that. They might just sell puts. And that's okay. But what I'm trying to tell you is after years of being in the market, when you have that entry, you have to trust yourself. You have to push yourself to going in the aggressive places. And that's why leaps produced me an extra 6 figures, just that one play, because of that. And I would have left so much money on the table if I didn't use them. But I also want you to think of RSI levels as the lower you go, the more you deploy into the markets. For example, at RSI 70, you're in cash. And then here, let's say you're 20% of your account, maybe 30% of your account, 40% of your account, 50% of your account. I'm going to piss some people off because they don't understand how important it is to be dense and narrow in a play. It's super contrarian. And everybody teaches you to diversify, do 5% of your portfolio, pick 20 names. Trust me, that's not the key. And I've been in the markets for like 10 years, and I've seen it all. I've coached hundreds of traders, and they're all making that same mistake, thinking diversifying is the key. It's not. You can diversify with an index fund. And within that index fund, you can buy leap options with it. It's already diversified, so just you can buy more. You can sell more puts because it's diversified if you're doing CSPs. So there's ways to get around the diversification circle and cycle that everybody is hyping up too much. But number 1, you have to understand that generational entries require extra capital because they don't come often. And that was the difference for me. When it hit, I went heavy and I did exactly what I'm telling you. I do this to this day. I go heavy. I go with stock. I go with leaps at the right moment with the right plays. And that's how I produce my income at this point, year in and year out. And it's more than just RSI. At the end of the day, you have to have deep knowledge and understanding and conviction of the stock. We're not buying Tesla because it's at RSI 30, because a YouTuber said something about it that was interesting. No, we have to look at the big picture. What's the company going to do over the next year? What's the bullish macro? Is the robotics that are coming online? When are the robo-taxis going to start running? Like those are big shifts in Tesla that could produce big stock moves. So having a deep knowledge, if you could pitch someone the stock and sell them on it, basically you understand it more than you need to. And that's good. You want to overanalyze the things you're in. And that's the other thing you have to focus on. I tell everybody in the coaching program, go on X, follow people that are smart and learn from them because they're going to have theses and ideas that you can take and that you can develop that conviction yourself over time. And what happens with your X feed is the more you follow people, the more you interact with Tesla posts, the more Tesla posts you're going to get, which can further validate and learn your thesis, and you can figure it out and what that means. And once you have that deep knowledge, it's just about positioning because the winners need to be big enough to matter. If they're too small and you've diversified too much, who cares if you hit a good play? Honestly, if you have 10 plays, one of them's going to hit big. 2 of them are going to go flat. 8 of them are going to go down, especially if you're new. So 10 plays will ruin your portfolio. And again, one play might too, but you need to figure out how to pick quality. And if you had only one play to choose in the market, I guarantee you wouldn't hold half the stuff you're holding. So the idea is, if you had one choice to make, maybe two in a month, what would you choose? What's the most quality name? Can you choose that and go deep and play it out regardless? Because with that being said, if you had that slim decision and you had to put a lot of capital into it, you would probably research it a little bit more. You would probably analyze the chart a little bit more. You'd probably plan out your trades, what style, what aggression you're going to use a little bit more. So going heavy just makes you a better person in the market, regardless of, honestly, your skill level right now. Going heavy will push you to places you've never been. Another play, just if you're curious, that took me from that middle section of the year up a couple 100K was Bitcoin. I was buying this at a generational wealth entry, which is Bitcoin sub 50 on the weekly RSI. In a bull trend, in a bull market, that is where you crush it. And right now we're even cheaper. So think about that. But with the election, with all the stuff with Trump, that was one of my biggest trades because of that. So I went deep and it wasn't even that cheap compared to Tesla. And the last play, which is MSTR, I actually shorted. Crazy, right? I played Bitcoin to the top, called the top on YouTube, and then I called the top on MSTR. And I said last year in December, this is the top. You're going to see MSTR fall for the next couple years probably. And from there, I was able to play tons of CSPs, tons of leap puts, and crush MSTR for months. This play was a play that I said on YouTube will gift you entries for the whole year. So take advantage, be excited. This was a major opportunity. And that was my third and last play of last year. That pushed my account from 150 all the way up to 500. The big things I want you to understand is that Tesla, I didn't maximize it. I left money on the table. Bitcoin, same thing. MSTR, same thing. So the biggest advice moving forward for me and you is when you develop a thesis, when you find a play, when you're ready to go heavy, go for an extra couple months, even if you think the play is done. Because trust me, there's much more juice to squeeze when you found something that's a generational entry. So this is exactly what I teach in the coaching program. If you're tired of seeing the bits and pieces on YouTube, I guarantee you're going to see more value with me in the program, getting daily help, getting daily trades or weekly trades, and getting, more importantly, the software to help you pick them out. So if you want to level up in 2026, it's more than a YouTube video. Sometimes it's a mentor. So take the ride with me. Click the link below, fill out an application. I'll link a video to the right of me of the video this week with RSI, showing you exactly how I position in different types of trades with it. Peace out. Have a good week, everybody.